This is how you can set up a retirement with real estate investment.
Now,
401k is a thing of the past.
did you know? Welcome to the closing table with the Money Guys, Sidney Young and Jared Parrish. This episode is being brought to you by Allura Financial, AlluraFinancial.com, your source for real estate investment funding. Now, presenting the Money Guys. Welcome to the closing table, Money Guys. My name's Sidney Young.
And Jared Parrish.
The Money Guys. We got
Yo money.
As you can see right there, this show's being brought to you by Allura Financial.
.com.
Yes.
Yeah, we're
it's
here.
June something. July. I'm sorry. July something. This has been a crazy week. Towards the end of the month.
Yeah. Days are starting to run together. I can't believe we're over halfway through this
You
year.
know what it is, man? Yesterday I'm headed home. I swear, 104 on my car thermometer.
Oh, man.
You saw me in the parking lot getting in the car. I
can't imagine the thermometer, though.
Okay, like Jared parks across the street in the parking garage. Even in the wintertime, he said he didn't want to come over here to the on-spot location. He said it'd be too hot in summer. It ain't going to be too hot. Mm-hmm. Man, I got that car yesterday. It was cooking, man.
Oh, man. It's bad. It's bad. I know, like, washing the cars and the bikes and all that stuff this weekend, and had my truck sitting out there and back into the garage. It's like, oh, God.
Man, it's just in Houston, Texas, two things. It's hot and crime's out of control. Again. Maybe one of
and we laugh about it. It's like that's like the funny highlight of today.
We're going to talk about a lot of things today. We're going to talk mainly about real estate investing. But I want to tell a quick story.
Okay.
It's always the part of the story that's missing. Always the one part that's key information that people don't want you to know about.
Kind of the scary part? Like
sort of like, yes. Sort of like, I want you to make an offer on my house, sight unseen, based on pictures.
Ooh.
But I'm not going to tell you that it's been condemned by the city.
You know what? I've always thought that was a bad idea. Tell me why you think that's a bad idea. Sight unseen real estate
If you're
purchases.
a real investor, you'll buy it sight unseen. You're not real.
Yeah, no, you don't have to
so
look at
dumbass
it.
me says an approximate number. And so the guy selling it says, well, here's the passcode. Because I told him we're not doing it unless and he tried to talk me out of going out there and looking at it. I said, no, we got to go see the property. So we hop up in Jared's vehicle here and off we go to La La Land to go see the property.
Yeah.
It has a huge sticker on it that says condemned by the city.
I think that was kind of a red flag.
You'd think Mr. Property owner
not
said,
so
by
much
the
a
way,
metaphor. It's kind of a literal red flag that says it's condemned.
But you see, here's the thing. This guy's got a hard money loan on this property. When it gets foreclosed on next Tuesday, which is the first Tuesday of the month, all the properties in Harris County get foreclosed on at that time. Yep. That's going to get sold by some idiot that's going to go sight unseen, and he owes $86 on it. Let's say that they sell it for $100. Guess what? The lien holder gets $86. He makes that difference.
Here's the thing.
That's non-recourse loan.
Yeah, but I mean, here's the thing on this one. So he didn't want to take a low ball offer.
Yep.
He knows he owes $86 on it, but he thinks that he's going to get more from that at an auction.
Yeah.
But if they know that it's condemned, because don't they have to disclose that at the auction?
At the auction,
if they find out
that's all I see.
I mean, if they find out that it's condemned or that, honestly, it's a teardown.
It says as is. So I think it's whoever's bidding on its responsibility to go prior to auction to see all that stuff.
Which, I hope a lot of people would do that.
Well, real investors go sight unseen. You saw his little posting on there.
Oh, yeah, I know. Boom.
If you're buying property sight unseen, you're a dumbass. Anyway.
Yeah. I think that was a dumbass one, yeah.
Anyway, so we waste our time going out there, but I'm glad we did. Yeah, that's a good one. I'm glad we did. You do not want to go buy a property sight unseen. And could you imagine if we put it under contract and then we go view the property? Oh my God.
Yeah, or like we've heard from people say, well, can't you just do the appraisal after we get the financing? I don't think so.
Anyway, in today's market, in especially in Houston, it's a very low inventory. There's not a whole lot of houses out
And
there.
here's my opinion.
Yeah.
I don't think the inventory is really low because there's not a lot of homes for sale. I think they're selling so damn fast that it looks as if there's no homes for sale because they're no longer for sale.
Which opens up
but we're about to
propaganda
for
scammers.
There is about to be a load of property.
Is that a shitload?
Yeah. Coming up for foreclosure soon. I mean, I think for August 3rd, I think just in Harris County, I think we calculate a little over 400 homes.
Yeah.
So there is some property coming up.
Because of the shortage, we haven't always dipped in the pre-foreclosure market. We started doing that because of the shortage.
And you can too.
Yes, you can.
Just don't beat us to it.
Yeah.
Let us do it for you.
It's all, and that's another thing we're going to talk about today is, do you joint venture or do you do it on your own?
To JV or not to JV? That is a question.
Junior varsity. No.
Yeah.
Joint venture.
Right? Those who weren't good enough. Those who require a participation trophy.
Hey, I played on junior varsity high school.
But the cool thing is here at Closing with Money Guys, a lot of our listeners are real estate investors.
Yes.
Or want to be real estate investors, which leads us to topic of today. Today we're actually going to be discussing some really cool strategies on how you can either start your real estate investment business or better strategies on how to grow your real estate investment business. And it's one particular phrase, one magic phrase, one dirty little secret that they don't want you to know about. Do you know what that magic phrase is?
No.
Cash out refi.
Oh, yeah.
It's a beautiful phrase. It doesn't even sound
like
it rolls off your tongue.
But we're getting way ahead of ourselves. Do you start out as a real estate investor, wholesaler, whatever, with your name, a DBA, LLC? Which one?
If this is something that you're wanting to do, you're serious about it, you got a little scratch put together for investing, definitely go for the LLC.
Web page, no web page?
Web pages, I don't think it's important. I'll
tell you, here's my opinion. A web page is not really important as a wholesaler. Phone number, my opinion is you should have a separate line for this. I shouldn't call you as a serious buyer. Hey, dude, leave me a name and number, dude. I'll call you back whenever I can, dog.
Honestly,
I ain't calling you back.
I have a little bit different opinion of that. Just me personally.
He's 13. I'm 22. Anyway.
Something like that. So if you're an investor, I don't think having a separate phone line is important. I don't think having a website or a storefront or brochures or headshots or anything like that, because it doesn't really matter. You're investing. You're putting your money into something, hoping that you pull more back out. Ultimately, that's what investing is.
But it's your first impression as well.
But, I mean, in many instances, the investor never even meets the buyer.
Exactly.
Because they have realtors that do it.
There's more than a first impression in person. There's a first impression on that phone, first impression before I meet you on social media. I'm not
talking wholesaling.
What are you talking about?
No, I'm talking about real estate investors.
Well, wholesalers are investors.
Well, I understand that, but that's one little niche of it. I'm talking about
whether you're an investor or wholesaler. If your name is John Smith and you call me about one of my properties, I want to know who I'm dealing with. I'm going to look you up like the rest of the world's going to do.
Well, now, okay, so if you're talking about wholesaling, I mean that's a separate business in itself. I mean, that's wholesaling. If you're wanting to be a professional wholesaler, that's one thing. A website might help. Having the right type of material can help. Having a website, having a separate phone line, building a business to where online it's almost like your digital storefront.
You're talking about investors who buy and hold.
Buy and hold, fix and flip, things like that. Because typically when you talk about real estate investors,
you're talking about two different classifications. A wholesaler, more than likely, is probably going to be some guy with no money.
Yeah.
The investor has to have money.
Well, for those people who are starting out with absolutely $0, you can do wholesaling as an investor. You can go out, you could try to find the property, then go ahead and reassign your purchase agreement. Wholesaling's cool. Wholesaling's been out there. I'm talking about the people who want to get into real estate investing, talking about rental properties, fix and flips, even getting into commercial properties.
Yeah.
That's that's a real estate
investor. We don't really. I tell Jared, this is my old-fashioned way of thinking. I don't want to know what the show's about until we're live on air, so it'll be fresh. Classic example today. I didn't know.
Yeah,
here we are.
But hey, they get to hear this whole thing as it unfolds.
Yeah.
So let's just say you got a little scratch together. Okay, you got some money. Let's say it's $20,000.
Okay.
A lot of people can come up with 20 grand. Okay.
Easy.
So, you're going to start your real estate investment business. Now, a lot of people are going to go out there and they're looking for rental properties. They're thinking, okay, I'm going to take this $20,000. I'm going to use it as my down payment and closing cost. I'm going to buy this house and I'm going to rent it out. Here's the problem. You put 20 grand. That's all your money. Boom. You get one house. And now it's up to you to find a renter, put it in there, and how much net profit are you making on that house? Because keep in mind, we said $20,000 as a down payment. You're probably going to be making anywhere between $300 to $500 a month. How many months is it going to take to get back your seed money of $20,000? Don't do it like that. My opinion is you start with fix and flip, because you could take the same $20,000. Put your down payment and closing costs. You get your.
What do you think, like $100,000 fix and flip?
Yeah.
Yeah. That'd work.
But between the $75,000 and $100,000 fix and flip.
Within 6 days, you can 3 times your money, if not 4.
Well, I mean, let's be conservative, because I mean, if you're going to triple your money, I mean, well, as far as the seed money, yeah, he's absolutely right, because your net profit on that could be anywhere between $40,000 and $60,000, depending on the type of deal. Let's just say you doubled your money. So you started out with 20, and now you finished the fix and flip, you sold it. Now you're sitting with 40. Now you could buy a little bit more expensive fix and flip. Every 4th or 5th flip, buy and hold, because you're creating this cash flow within your business. So this way you've got money coming in, money going out, money coming in, money going out, money coming in, but you've got this net profit, and you started it all with only $20,000.
And when you say, if that's your plan, you really need an LLC.
Absolutely, you need an LLC and a bank account. You're going to need that bank account
with money in it.
With money in it, but then. So let's just say every 4th. So you do 3 fix and flips, boom, the 4th one you buy and hold. You do another 3 fix and flips, then boom, buy and hold. If you're buying and holding one that you did a fix and flip on, it's perfect, because you've got a little bit of money in it. Let's say, for instance, you buy a $75,000 house, okay? You put, say, $30,000 in rehab. So you've got a total of $105,000 in this home. After it's fixed, it may be worth $180,000. So you can refinance just what you have in it for your hard money loan. And so you've got $105,000, let's say, with additional closing costs. Now you're up to about $110,000. So you got $110,000 invested in this house, but it's worth $180,000. So boom, you already have a lot of equity in that house. You do 3 more fix and flips, boom, you repeat that same thing. You buy and hold, you just do your refinancing. Once you have 5 properties put together, this is where it gets cool. Cash out refi. We take those 5 houses, we pull out the equity that you have up to 75 to 80%, and make sure that your DSCR, which is your debt to service cost ratio, to make sure that your profit margin on your rent versus what it's costing you is making sense. Then you could take that money and use that money as a 20% down payment to double the amount of rental properties.
Your first 5, if you have a 6-something FICO score, start improving your credit, getting it worked on, because the ARV is going to depend. You need a 740 plus.
Yes. Now, a lot of people are saying, well, a lot of these private money loans, they get kind of expensive. Not right now, not if you're going with the...
Man, they're only a couple % higher than a standard traditional loan, which explores all your finances and takes a month to do.
Yeah, and we've got 30-year fixed loans.
And tell them about documentation is zero with us. Tell them about docs for this.
Docs are simple. We don't need W-2s. We don't need your annual tax statements. We need 2 months bank statements. Okay, 2 months bank statements. And we're not looking at DTI. We're looking at the investment property itself. So it's going to be a lot easier to go through all these.
3 weeks, and it would have been less had the appraisals not been in shape. It's going to take 2 weeks.
But do you know where you can get these loans at?
Allure Financial, AllureFinancial.com.
So let's explore this a little bit more. So let's say that you started out with $20,000, so you're already profiting because you're doing the fix and flips.
Yeah.
Now, some people say, okay, well, you're making it sound really easy, but how do we find these properties? We just mentioned it. Wholesalers.
Yes.
Wholesalers, pre-foreclosures. There's a lot of ways you could find these homes, but what you need to do is kind of create your network. What you want is I call it when we do our trainings is your mastermind team.
Yes.
Okay.
And here's another thing. It depends, where you get your money from. But let's say you go to Allure Financial. Let's say you're in a greater Houston area. I mean, we can close fix and flips in a matter of days. And in 1 week's time, you can find it on Monday and be sitting at the closing table by Friday. Now,
sometimes the person selling it wants to close in a week.
Yeah.
Because he wants cash.
You know, so you are the same as a cash buyer because as soon as title clears, we fund to the title company.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know.
And it's quicker, it's easier to get it into your name. But so let's talk about the mastermind group. The mastermind group's important.
That's your circle.
So this is your team. Now, your team, it's not like employees. You don't have to put anybody on salary. Okay? You want to have a contractor that you know and you trust that's bonded and insured. What?
Celery's good.
Celery?
Yeah.
Celery? Yeah. A lot of people don't like getting paid celery.
I interrupt.
They like more of a salary.
Go ahead.
So you do want to have a contractor that you know and you trust. Well-rounded, covers everything, and that's bonded and insured. Let me explain that. Bonded means if this guy does plumbing and it leaks throughout the house, damages a bunch of stuff, the bonding company is like an insurance company. They come out, they send someone to do everything right, and they fix everything, and then they charge the contractor. So it's between them and the contractor as far as getting it paid for. Your stuff's already fixed. Plus insurance. Insurance, say while he's doing it, let's say he's doing sheetrock work, and he busts a water pipe, and it floods the entire house. His insurance will cover all of those repairs. If you get Joe Blow down the street, say, oh, no, he's great at sheetrock. If he screws something up and messes up your house, and it could cost you tens of thousands of dollars to have all this stuff repaired. We've heard some horror stories before.
Yes, we have.
We've heard some horror stories too, but no.
You know, when it comes to contractors, just use your common sense.
Yeah.
And that's another thing. Unless you know the guy, if he asks for 50% up front, don't pay him.
Oh, no.
Don't pay upfront money.
No. Unless you've worked with him a lot in the past and you know that this guy's going to show up. If it's your first time dealing with him, you don't want to give him half up front. I mean, a lot of contractors are at least going to want to be able to cover materials.
Another thing.
I get it, but
watch
your ass.
Google.com, put in Texas, if you're in Texas, put in Texas release a lien form. Print it out. Every time you pay a contractor, have them sign a release lien for that money. That way later on, they can't come back and say, well, you didn't pay me. I'm putting a lien on your property. Mm-hmm. You have a release lien that shows they did.
And
they
you
were paid.
Definitely don't want a contractor that you give a bunch of money to that ends up turning out like this lien right here.
They're out of business. We'll be right back.
To ride the rolling thunder and feel the power of freedom, you go for it. Making the most of now. From the life you live to the beer you drink. And since 1849, the beer that makes the most out of life is Schlitz.
When you're making it beer, make it this one here. Schlitz makes it great.
Go for it.
They should have signed the release of lien form. Boom. Out of business. We're talking about buy and hold investors and how to become one.
Yes. This is how you could set up a retirement with real estate investment.
Now,
401k is a thing of the past.
Did you know that your IRA that you pay all that money into can actually help you become an investor?
Tell me more about it, Sydney.
A self-directed IRA can be directed for an investment purchase. You can't live in a house, but it can be directed as investment purchases.
Mm-hmm. No
Talk
penalties.
to your IRA counselor today.
Yeah. Do you have a phone number or website? No.
It would took effort to do
Look
that.
at the number on the bottom of that card.
It would have took effort to Google that, so I didn't do that.
Yeah. So anyway, talking about the mastermind team. So we did talk about your contractor. You want to make sure you have a good one. You also do want a realtor. Mm-hmm. A lot of investors, some of the biggest mistakes that I've seen is the investors that want to do everything. Mm-hmm. You know, they say, "Oh no, I'm a real good handyman. I can rehab this whole thing myself." Don't do that. Don't hire an expert. Hire someone that can actually get the job done, because time is money. If you're on a hard money loan, you're paying a lot of interest. You don't want to do it yourself and take 2 or 3, 4 months extra.
I'd say yes and no. If you've ever done, you have a building knowledge, at least a general idea of what takes place on a rehab. Mm-hmm. I mean, you know, you can common sense that walls that go this, that, and the other. Hire the contractors like Jerry was saying, but you hire them. Don't hire a general contractor who's going to take their bid and add 10% to it. And 10% this one, 10% that, 10% that one.
And see, and I'm of a different method. I think it's easier to hire the general contractor and fit his additional fee into my business model, because that's one less thing that I have to worry about.
But you don't
Because a
learn.
lot of people who are doing a real estate investment, they have a 9 to 5.
Okay, you got a good point on that one. It's you do need time to be at the project.
Now, if you've got time to do it, and if you could
he's
GC
right
your
on
own,
that
if your own project,
Yeah.
let's say we have a listener out there that's retired.
Yeah.
You know what? Hey, I want I don't want to just not do anything.
Yeah.
Okay, then that would be a good person that
Yeah.
could GC their own project.
Right.
Also, we've got real estate investors that happen to be realtors as well. And they want to do all that themselves. You have the capability of doing it, yeah. But if you're trying to GC your own project and you're trying to be your own realtor, it doesn't really work. Let them make their money, but build your team. So this way you delegate.
That's the buy and hold investor. Now I want to switch to
That was fix and flip.
no. We talk about buy and hold as well.
Yeah, I mean, we're talking about
Fix
both
and
of them.
flips. You do 4 of them, then you buy and you hold your 5th one. Let's talk about the guy says, okay, I've got $5,000 in the bank. I don't have 20. How do I eventually get to that point?
Okay, this is where you join the junior varsity team. So JV does not stand for junior varsity. This stands for joint venture. You want to pair yourself with another well-experienced investor that's going to go in with you on certain projects. Let's say you've got $5,000. Let's say you've got $1,000. Okay? And you do the legwork to go out and try to find the wholesale property. Then you approach your investor and say, hey, I found this great wholesale property. Let's do this together. He goes, how much money you got? It's like, I only got $1,000. He goes, okay, I'll tell you what. We'll do an 80-20 split on the profit. You found the wholesale property, and I'll go ahead and buy it. I'll put the money in there. Give me your $1,000. I'll put the other $30,000 into it, and we could do an 80-20 split on the profit. But I want you to do X, Y, and Z. Now, the cool thing about him giving this inexperienced investor a list of things to do is you're learning. The whole idea of it is you have to learn this stuff as you go. There are a lot of books about real estate investment, but they wrote these books to sell books.
Yeah.
Okay, they will oversimplify it. They don't go over all of the millions of different types of pitfalls that you can fall into, and we've seen a lot of them.
We deal with them daily. It's frustrating sometimes.
Okay, in the book, it's not going to tell you. Okay, well, you find this house, and then boom, you're going to go ahead and fix it, and then it's going to be this much.
It's not going to tell you that when you turn around and sell it, and they're having to get it on a loan, that the appraisal needs to do this or this or this, and then you're restricted to only cash buyers are buying it, which means you're probably not going to sell it full price. You're going to have to discount to sell it.
Or it also doesn't tell you that if you went ahead and gave $10,000 as a deposit to your contractor, and then the contractor never shows back up, what are you going to do? Or what about if you go ahead and do a full demo and you rip out all of the sheetrock, then you find out that about 10 years ago they had a horrible termite infestation and all of the studs need to be replaced. Now they're going to have to, add 50% on your rehab budget.
Do you not need blueprints? Do you need permits? Do you not need permits?
What's a load-bearing wall?
All this stuff, man. It's almost overwhelming at some point.
And working with someone who's gone through it all, they know what the solution is. You can learn from them. You're not making as much money, but you're learning from them and you're still making money at the same time. So
if I was that guy and I wanted to invest my $1,000 eventually and learn this and do a fixed investment deal or a wholesaler, I would call a company like, I don't know,
Allure Financial.
Ha! There's a good idea.
Yeah. Well, we also consult people in this.
That's a problem. People call us up. You actually get him on the phone, and they say, I'm thinking about doing this. I'm looking for a mentor. He'll spend an hour on the phone and give him it all. Yeah, that'll work. Call me back and give you some more advice. Dude, what are you doing? And
then they don't call us back for the loan. That pisses me off. I give them all this free advice, and they're like, thanks. I'm going to go give this to Zeus Lending. Like, what the hell?
That's what happens.
Yeah.
Okay, let's talk about, you touched on something.
Okay.
What if I'm a first-time investor, I got $30,000 in the bank, and I just need a quick loan because I'm going to go this one on my own?
Well, if you're a first-time investor, I mean, for one, I still stick to my guns on the whole fix and flip idea.
Okay.
I would, if you don't want to joint venture with someone because you're getting kind of greedy and you're like, you know what, no, I don't want to split anything with anybody.
His wife tells him, don't you do that.
If you don't want to split anything with anyone, I totally get it. Then I would heavily rely on your contractor and your realtor to help you with values. and your lender as well, because that's another part of your mastermind
You just
group.
nailed something. Values. That is so freaking important in this thing. I can't stand it when I talk to somebody and they say, "Well, I'm getting this property for $250,000. I got to go put it under contract," and I'll interrupt them, buddy. What's the property worth? Oh, it's got to be somewhere close to $350 or $400. Was it $350 or is it $400? That tells me you didn't look. You've got to know what it's worth prior to going.
Yeah, I mean, and not a roundabout. I mean, you could be roundabout. It's like it's about $350.
Yeah.
Okay, but you can't tell me, oh, it's going to be between 2 and 3. It's
$100,000
swing there, Jack.
Look at comps, man. Go to Zillow.com, put the address in, go that map, and start doing your own comps.
That'll give you at least a starting point. Okay, and within Zillow, and it's one of the things I like about it is you could pull up in that area other homes that have sold.
Yep.
So you know if you can match it. All right, this is 1,800 square foot, 3-bedroom, 2-bath. This one's 1,800 square foot, 3-bedroom, 3-bath. Do they look similar? Is one a fixer-upper and one's already been rehabbed? You have to match them apples to apples.
It takes some time, but do it.
And it's an art. It's something that you do.
And appraisals are basically homes, and the comparables for appraisals are homes. I stuttered there. The homes that are within 400 square feet plus or minus that have sold within a certain radius, typically, a mile, 2 miles? Something like that?
Within a mile. If you could do it within half mile, it's even better.
Within the last 6 months.
Yes.
And,
you can't pull a comp that sold 3 years ago.
Yeah. So do your own little appraisal thing and get that. And then take all three your comps, okay, average them out as far as the sale price, and add them all up, divide that by 3 and get the per square foot, take the per square fofoot times your square foot, and that should tell you what it's worth.
He's right, guys. You got to look at the square footage. Square footage is important because they can kind of they could change a lot of values there. But values is very important. If you're doing this for the first time, you're doing this on your own, heavily rely on your contractor and your realtor, because your realtor doesn't get paid unless this thing sells. And if she can't sell it for what you need, then she ain't going to sell the property. So she wants to make sure that it does sell, that it has the right appeal. Your contractor is going to tell you what exactly needs to be done, how much it's going to cost. And then if you've got a calculator on your phone, which most of us do, calculate the numbers and make sure that it's still profitable. Always add 15 to 20%.
You got to have that contingency in there. It's important. It really is.
Yeah, because shit happens.
Yeah. Especially, I talk about us. We are now officially in the 100-degree weather. 2 weeks ago, it rained every day for over a month. Every freaking day.
Yep.
And that affects your everything.
I mean, the mosquitoes loved it.
Oh, God, it's terrible. They were taking baths.
Yeah. But that contingency, adding 15 to 20%, because with almost every fix and flip that you're going to do, there is going to be at least one point where you're like, what the fuck? You're going to need that extra cash.
Yeah.
Because if you budget it to where you're like, I only have $20,000 and I only budgeted $20,000, you're going to have what the fuck? Your contractor walks in.
What in the wide world of sports is going on here?
You don't want to have those days.
Yeah.
Don't want to have those days.
Good
Prepare
news
for
is
that.
you finally get towards the end of it. This is one of them you're going to sell. You've got 120 into it. Home's worth at least 2. You got an offer for 180. Dude, that's $60,000. Take it.
Mm-hmm. But like I said, and remember, if you're doing a fix and flip, buy the ugly house, not the broken house. That's
Before
we
run out of time, cover title company real quick.
Cover the title company?
Yeah.
I covered them.
Okay.
I laid on top and I covered the whole thing.
Well, you want to start a relationship with a title company.
Title companies are important because they're going to let you know, are there any other liens?
Yeah.
Is the title clouded? Now, what does that mean?
That means there's an issue on the title. You want to have a title company on speed dial and a person that knows you, that you know them. Walk in their door, introduce yourself.
Yeah, go and talk to them, build those relationships, build that team, because trust me, it's going to pay off in the end. That's something you're really, really, really going to do.
It's been Closing Table Money Guys. We're the Money Guys. Right, sitting here.
And Jared Parrish.
Like I said, we're the Money Guys. We got your money.